Hi, and coach, good to see you again. How are you?
Very well, my friend. Very well. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Good.
Right then, okay, so yeah,
The
the little guest,
goatee.
yeah. I thought I'd change it up a bit. I mean, it's already
Yeah, I'm just
got
jealous. I can't. I'm like patchwork me. Thank
It's all right, mate. It's all right. Your hair's on point though. That's all that counts.
you very much. I'll take that for now.
Right. Okay. So let's head to this weekend. You got double headers this weekend. First up on Saturday is Manchester. And last time you played them, it was an incredibly close game and scoreline. So how have your preparations been then this week ahead of that game?
Yeah, I think like the next two weekends probably define our season. So that's the reality of it. So we've put ourselves under an enormous amount of pressure this week to be looking at these games now. As you could more or less say must wins, like we're looking at these games where we know these are teams that we think we can get results against. Manchester, I think we definitely played below the standards we were playing in the games before. So I think that there's a level to us to go through, but also you have to realize Manchester have gone through the gears as well. They're a very experienced, veteran, talented team that are just getting better through the season as well. So we're gonna have to bring our absolute A game to perform against them. But there's no doubts like the next four games are gonna pretty much determine whether or not we're going to be a playoff team or not.
And then obviously moving on to Sunday, then you host Caledonia Pride at St. Peter's. And after the last game up in Scotland, obviously you came out on an unfortunate scoreline. But you said after the game that the team weren't in the right mindset and they didn't play Queen's basketball. So how do you feel the team is mentally going into this game? Obviously, they will have played a game the day before as well. So, I mean, how do you feel their mentality will be going into this game compared to the last game?
Yeah, I think we've had a great week of practice, so we can't be any more prepared than we are. Yesterday we probably had one of the best practices we've had all year. I feel like the feelings, very, very strong for us going into this next, 4 or 5 game stretch. We had a couple of honest conversations after Caledonia. That's the first time where I feel like we've completely dropped our levels. We just didn't show the kind of level of concentration, the kind of energy levels that we need to bring to present ourselves as a playoff team. I think we let ourselves down in that regard. So I'm hoping, the girls are going to be looking at this weekend, especially Sunday, as a revenge game, right? That they can right the wrong. Double headers are never easy, but for me, double headers in my playing career were just always fun. Like I was always really, really excited to play them. It's much more mental than it is physical because you're going to be tired going into that second game. But you can also carry a lot of momentum into those games. If we perform the way that I know we can against Manchester, that can take us into Sunday with a lot of confidence. So, yeah, I think we've kind of addressed the problems. I think there was enough in that Riders game to see that what we're capable of. We're capable of competing against anyone. We're just not capable of competing against those top teams for 4 quarters or even 2 quarters. So that's just a reality. We all know where we are in the pecking order. It's the playoff chase we're after.
Yeah, and going back to that Riders game, actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was one of the first games so far this year, anyway, where you've had pretty much a full fit roster. So how important is that then going ahead, especially if you're aiming to make the playoffs? How important is it that you haven't got anyone who not necessarily starts in the starting 5 all the time, but who is there available to come on if needed?
Yeah, I think it's vital for us. It's just getting players to practice. There's some players that can only practice with us a couple of times a week, which makes the synergy harder. Like there's a lot of pressure on some of those players that come off the bench. Alex travels, Bianca travels, Molly travels, even Layla. She comes up from Bristol and things like that. So we have to manage that side of things. So the kind of the body of work we do during the week. But there's bags of potential there. I think there are going to be a couple of games in this run-in where we're going to be missing Alex, which is just going to be huge. People just may see that she doesn't play the most minutes in the world, but she's absolutely vital to what we do. She's the leader. She's the one that's absolutely figured out that her role is to come on and bring energy and be tough and be fiery and get the team going. We're really proud of Molly's debut. That's really hard to go in and play, at the highest level in the UK in your debut, let alone playing against the team that you've kind of left in order to try and move forward. We managed to get her 20 odd minutes on the court. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists was great. The physicality shocked her at times, so she's going to have to get used to that, and that's going to be something we need to manage now and then in the off season. And then everybody knows how valuable Bianca is to us when she brings that kind of game that she brings, that she played against Nottingham. She can be really, really dangerous, but again, she's one of those ones that has to manage a full-time job and traveling to us and things like that, and it can take its toll sometimes. So we just have to be patient, but they will be huge for us in the run-in, no doubts.
Yeah, and then just finally, then this obviously a change of home venue for you on Sunday. You're playing at St. Peter's instead of Oxtalls. So, how much will that affect your approach to the game and the team's approach to the game mentally as well, knowing that they're not going to be playing in their usual home?
Well, I think you say we're not playing in our usual home. We are in our usual home. That's where we practice, every single day. So I think a lot of us have been thinking about this as an opportunity to play somewhere familiar grounds. It's not something we necessarily wanted to do. Oxtalls is a great venue, a top venue, and gets booked out very, very quickly. So with COVID and rescheduled games, it just has happened that way. Have to thank St. Peter's wholeheartedly for accommodating us and being willing to go on this journey with us. We're going to do our best to still bring a great value of entertainment to that event. We're still going to stream the event, but our girls will be extremely comfortable in that facility. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how we perform with the crowd at St. Peter's.